Hello everybody, a warm welcome to Wisdom from North. My name is Jannica and I'm now in beautiful Sedona on my Wisdom from North tour around the US. And I'm sitting here next to the Cathedral Rock with Rahelio Roderiguez. Rahelio, much welcome to Wisdom from North.
Glad to be here today and to share with you.
Yes, we've had a beautiful moment just now. We've been walking around here, and Rahelio is an astrologer. He's a mystic and a spiritual guide, and he helps thousands of people have healing experiences and inspirational experiences. And you know a lot about Sedona and the energy here. And can you tell a little bit about this place and this thing we have in the background?
Okay. Well, Sedona has been always has been a sacred place for the native people. This is a place kind of like a Garden of Eden, where today the archaeologists will say 1200, 1400 AD, the Indian people were here. But for the native people, this was where they began. They came forth from the earth here and migrated from this place. So there are many stories about creation and time cycles and past civilizations, but Sedona has an ancient history. And when you come to this land, you may be driving in and you don't know what to expect. You see these mountains and heart breaks open and, oh my God, what am I feeling? What is my soul telling me here? Is it opening me to something that's greater? Is it the vortex phenomenon? Is it the sacred earth? Is it the spirit? It's all these things.
So what are these vortexes? And there are four main
That's the four popular spots.
Okay.
But from a Native American point of view, over 100 power spots here.
Okay.
So then what is a power spot is the question.
Okay.
Have you ever seen the Native American dream catcher?
Yeah.
The spider web and the hoop?
Yes.
That hoop, that can be seen as the Mother Earth, as that was a ball.
Okay.
That web would go around and make a geodesic grid, a grid dome. That grid is the Earth Mother's acupuncture meridian system. So the vortex points are meridians on the Earth's body, energy body.
Okay.
So you have the masculine meridians and the feminine meridians in the neutral.
Okay.
Yin and yang.
So these mountains are holy in a way.
Yes.
And it's said, or you said on your website that you need to have like a reverence when you come here. You need to come with the right intention. Can you tell or talk a little bit about that?
Well, our intent shapes our reality. And for a long time, the Western world has not recognized that the earth is a living being, has not recognized that there is in the natural cycle, in the balance of nature, a living consciousness. And not understanding that misses that there's more to this beauty than just the physical external, but there is the soul of the earth and that we belong to the earth. And as we begin to recognize that we are part of this greater whole, and that we're here to live in harmony with and bring balance with our life, with the Mother Earth's life, with all the children of the Mother Earth, then we can begin to take this sacred or this reverent understanding and create a good relations with everything.
And what about the mountains? Because we love, going to the summit. Why do we do that?
Mountains are earth temples, earth antennas for the energy of the Mother Earth. We can see it in the building of the pyramid. The pyramid, like there are many pyramids in Mexico. The Indian people there were masterful pyramid builders. And in Egypt, and now they say Bosnia has a pyramid. And all around the world, these pyramids or these temples that resemble pyramid dynamics. So we know the pyramid, as an antenna, draws energy from the environment and spins it up to the top, activating a focal point for this energy. This energy, Mother Earth life energy, is moving through her body, goes up into the atmosphere, and then down as a lightning bolt. So the lightning bolt energy is the kundalini of the earth. For human beings, it rests in the root of our root chakra, base of our spine. And when it comes up, it opens up the mind to a higher consciousness. So the mountains are holding that energy. So when we come to the mountain, we want to go up because the energy is going up. We want to go up and get that view and expand our mind and open to the inspiration and peak experience. Yeah. And so the peak experience is what people want. They want something to break them open and open them to greater possibilities, to expand their understanding of life. And that's the male pinnacle. The male energy's there. But the female energy's down in the canyon, in the womb,
Okay.
in the natural springs, in the water. The stream behind us is flowing from the Oak Creek Canyon, natural springs coming there. And so the water creates this female healing, soothing, supporting, life-enhancing. It feeds us, the water, the plants, the food crops, the animals. Everything is sustained by the water, is the mother energy, whereas the desert and the masculine reflects the sun energy. So going to the top of the mountain opens us to our spiritual purpose, our creative potential. What am I here for? Who am I on a deeper level? So the mountain awakens us to our authentic self, into the water, in the green, into the feminine, is now how we share that abundance and share that love and nurturing in our sustainment, the flow of life.
So being in nature, would that actually accelerate our awakening in a way?
Yes, because the brain has different rhythms and patterns in the brain. So the song of the bird, the flowing of the water, the whisper of the wind, the sound of the insects, these are making brainwave patterns. And the brainwave pattern sync us to kind of a alpha, theta state. So you go spend a few days into the natural world in silence, in prayer, in emptiness, in meditation, and you're fasting and praying, this is beginning to open up naturally.
Yeah, because I feel like whenever I go into nature, there's no judgment.
Self-judgment especially.
Yeah, it helps. I mean, it clears. So we talked about trees, and I thought it was very interesting what you said, that we are like exchanging.
Yes, everything is moving in a circle of relationship. So we're breathing out our breath, the trees absorbing our breath. We inhale the tree's breath. So we have this cycle of breathing in and out. And so nature is doing this. The daytime is breathing, I think the trees are breathing in the day and out at nighttime. I could be wrong about that, but there's the cycle, the day and night, when the in-breath and the out-breath of the trees. And so in the same way, the ocean, heated by the sun radiance, the female, Mother Ocean, evaporates as clouds, rains upon the land, coming back as rivers back to the ocean. And this rhythm of water that is sustaining all life on the earth is in this circle of relationship. So the water and the breath are these two circles, and we can't live without the breath and the water. We have the wind, the breath, the water, the emotions, the feelings, and we have the fire, the sun, and the earth, the rock, the earth. The four elements are sacred. It is the foundation of spiritual awareness.
So you've had a very interesting experience some years ago with you had an encounter or a meeting with extraterrestrials. Can you tell me a little bit about what happened and who they were?
I have had contact experience, and at the time of my communications and in the contact, I was in my higher mind. I was all-knowing. I knew everything. But when I came back down from that state, I only remember some of what I was told. But my first encounter was in Hawaii on Maui back in 1984. And a young man there, I was not so much aware of the UFO phenomenon at that time, and had an encounter where the ship came right down over my head. It was about as high as a tall tree. It came down, took up 2/3 of the sky, and it was very low. And it hummed like a tuning fork. Ooh, and it shimmered like the wings of a hummingbird, like a tuning fork. It shimmered at this high-pitched frequency. It was the most exhilarating feeling. It was like pure bliss, pure inspiration. But my mind was not accustomed to this type of a idea, this encounter. And I was thinking to my mind, it's not a plane, because it looks like a plane, the wing, but there's no nose or no tail. And it's not flying, it's just hovering. And therefore it's not a helicopter, because it's not a propeller. It's not making helicopter sounds. What is it? I'm going to say UFO, and the light comes on at the house, and my friend comes out of the house and says, Rahelio, it's a UFO. I'm like laughing because I know that, but my mind would not go there until I said what it's not. It's not this, it's not that. Oh, it's a UFO. And then it disappeared.
Okay.
And like a week later, laying in my bed, my head is ringing high-pitched E. And I'm going to my girlfriend, do you hear that ringing? And she hears it too. So 3 nights in a row, my head is ringing E. And on the third night, the back of my medulla, back of my head, began to hum. Ooh, crown chakra turned open. A beam of energy came down into my body. Pure bliss. And then the females, the goddesses, they were saying to me that to relax and go with it, that they were balancing my energy by putting this bliss into my body. The tricky thing was that it startled me because it caught me by surprise. My mind jumped. Instead of being centered, my mind jumped here, bounced off the side of my mind, and bounced back and forth like a ping pong ball. And when it came into this center, it was pure bliss, but over to either side, it was staticky and not in focus. So the energy came down into my body about this far before I lost the full download. And I go like, dang, I almost had a full download that was the most amazing blissful experience. But later they did come back to me again. The day I arrived in Sedona on the summer solstice of 1987. 1987 was a very big year for the harmonic convergence and the prophecies of the Toltec linking to the Mayan calendar. Quetzalcoatl prophesied this time cycle in the beginning of the flowering of the sixth sun. And so this flowering time period is coming to the end of the calendar, but just happened. And so now we're ready for the next stage to unfold. And so here we are now, and speaking of the possibilities of what this means for humanity.
They told you mean?
They said to me, they beamed into my mind, that tapped me in my head, the flame. About 20 seconds, opened up my brain, and my crown chakra opened up. And they told me, they said that this is where you've come to do your work. You're to be a spiritual guide here. Speak of love and inspiration. There's going to be many people coming looking for answers. So answer their questions. This is a part of the ancient prophecies, that a great awakening is coming. The earth will go through changes, but this awakening is coming, and speak of love and inspiration. They told me a lot more about the next dimension of consciousness up. They told me many things, and I said, I already know all that. Why are you telling me? And they told me a lot more, and I said, I already know all that. Why are you telling me? They told me some more, and I was going to say to them telepathically what's happening, because it was in my mind telepathically. I was going to say, why are you telling me that? I already know it. Then I stopped myself and said, well, why am I saying this? How do I know all this?
Right.
And then after they said goodbye, all of that I said I know, I couldn't remember. The first part I remember crystal clear. And so now my work started 26 years ago, and those ideas that I knew are what I teach, but I don't fully remember what they said to me. But I know that I know. Okay. And I'm just waiting for the time of the veil coming off. And this is what they said is going to happen for us. The veil is going to come off, and we're going to remember who we are.
But who were they? Did they?
They didn't say that they were from the Pleiades. They didn't say Sirius. They didn't say. They came to me a couple more times. They never told me where they're from, and I never cared to even ask because it was not. Because when I found myself, the next time I was in the next dimension up. I was in a waking dream state where I was in the back canyons of Sedona, in the secret canyon, I believe secret canyon, up on the high ledge, looking out over the canyon, the red rock lands. It was so magical. I was in my higher mind, no thinking, no rational mind. I was in silent wisdom, silent knowing. And in my silence, I am that I am. I was present, totally present, like I've never known before. I was so present in my knowing. And I could look a mile away and focus my awareness at a point in the distance, and I could see like telescopic vision. I could see way over there the detail, and as soon as I focused my mind on it, a lightning bolt came down from the sky and hit it. Ooh. And then I said, I didn't think, I just acknowledged it, and I looked over there, and I focused my mind, and as soon as I focused my mind, a lightning bolt hit there. And then I looked over there, and I focused my mind, and as I focused, a lightning bolt hit there, and I put my arm up to the sky, and I said, finally I had some power, because I was been on my spiritual path. I wanted to prove that I was on the right path. I finally had some power, and then a lightning bolt came down and hit right next to me, and it just jolted me, because it was so high definition reality, jolted me. I jumped up, I said, hey, that's your power. I won't make that mistake again. That's your power. And I jumped up and started running. And as I began to run, right where I was sitting, the bolt hit right there. Bam! And I'm running, and I'm jumping over cactus. I'm running so fast. I'm like the human Flash. I'm running so fast. Jumping cactus, and I'm parts pounding. I'm running like my silent peace, my wisdom had been jolted, and now I'm hearts pounding. I'm running for my life, kind of like.
Yeah.
And I can see about 50 meters in the distance a woman with blonde hair. And she turns, she gives me one look, and I can see a long way away. I see right into her eyes. She looks at me, one look, and that look put that silence back into me. And I was going so fast that I came up right behind her, and she turned around, started walking, and I knew silent wisdom, my knowing to follow her. And I was quiet, and I followed her, and the canyon narrowed and came to the end, the box of the canyon. And instead of being the end of the canyon, it was like a mirror reflecting the environment. She walked right into that mirror window. She stepped right into it and it opened up seamlessly. It was the door of a UFO, of some of a mothership or something. I walked with her in there, and the first thing I realized is that doorway was not a physical ship. It was living consciousness. Those human beings are so advanced that they are projecting their minds. Their ships are mind projections. They don't have to build material metal ships. They're so advanced that they are in their mind creation. And I looked in there, it was huge.
You went in there?
Yeah, the ship was huge, and people were going, it was busy. It was a big open room, a huge open room.
You call them people?
Human beings. Human beings. They're human beings, galactic human beings. And what they were doing, I don't know. All I know is that they were purposeful. And I know that in that area, people speak of U.S. military has hidden bases and UFO phenomenon. But I think these guys were beyond the capacity for human beings to, interfere with them. That they're on a much higher plane of reality beyond our capability to touch that. And I blacked out from there, but woke up going like, whoa, that's the higher domain they talked about. That when we come to this place of knowing that we are also God.
So we're getting there, or that's...
Yeah, that's going to come off, and we are gods also. We have forgot that we are. And people, popular saying now is that I am God, I'm goddess. But that's human beings speaking from their ego-intuitive wisdom. But to actually be there and know that you are, that's what I saw.
So they are here to help us.
Yeah, they're definitely here. But they cannot interfere with the human drama. We have to make our own choices.
Because of free will?
Free will. And everybody's choosing. Mostly they're choosing unconsciously, and they're programmed by the medias and the propagandas of the world. So people have to consciously choose what they want. And if they don't choose consciously, then unconsciously they have to choose. They're still choosing, but they've got to choose a world where it's a world of good for everybody and not selfishness and self-survival, but love the neighbor as yourself and the good of all, the service to the other, to the greater.
So how do we do that in a way? Because we have this ego that is constantly, telling us how small we are and how we mess up all the time and how we just get annoyed at each other, Well,
the main thing is that we realize that we're all in this together. That we are all human beings dealing with the human drama. There may be levels of injustice and inequality in the stratus of society. And we may blame and judge and be pitted against each other, divided and conquered. But when we realize that we're all in this together and that we stop projecting outward our blame, our anger, our opposition, and recognize that we are part of the Mother Earth, humanity belongs as one of the kingdoms of nature, and we begin to work together to be in harmony. Because, you watch maybe a big earthquake takes place, or a big tidal wave hits, or a big storm hits, or a fire hits, that people start working together to help each other, and all of a sudden, their differences are no longer there. It's like, hey, we're here to help to get through. We survived this, and we are so thankful. That is what this is about, these changes the earth is going through. It's either going to bring people to know that they are working together, all in it as one family, or the people are going to become criminal and try to hurt and steal and take. And people are going to make a choice. And the choices they make is where they're going to go when this cycle ends and we move to the next stage up. We're going to step to the golden age, and everybody moving that way is going to be of the heart, of love, of wanting to see the good for their neighbor, of unconditional loving. People are going to be moving that way. And the people who are going criminal are going to go back and have to pay that karma off, living in duality, another cycle.
Okay. So in a way, can this happen in this lifetime?
I think it's happened in this decade.
Really? Oh my goodness.
You know, people thought the year 2000 was going to happen. People thought 2012. And now I'm going like, you know, it's this decade is definitely, all we can do is be here now and make the best of it, and know that if we, in spite of the body's need to survive and our physical needs to be in the 3D world, to have the finances and the support we need, the food we need, if we know that we're spiritual beings and that ultimately when this life ends, we're going into the heaven realm because we have love in our heart, if we're living that love here now, we may step through a doorway, a time-space dimensional doorway into the, we call it the sixth sun, the golden age, or we call it the age of Aquarius. We may step into that, somewhat like many of the Christians speak of the rapture, where people are stepping up into the heaven realm, and those who don't have the frequency to step up, they've got to work out the karma of the 3D world until it goes through its ending.
I remember on your website you talk about that we're kind of on this or in this dream, and I thought that was interesting, that this is not reality. Our reality is actually somewhere else, and we're kind of living a dream. Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, we're in the dream of the planet Mother Earth, and it feels real, and it is real for us when we're here. But we know, looking around, that these rocks and these mountains are atoms and molecules vibrating as energy. We know that it's like the stars is 2% atoms and 98% space. So the physicality and the permanence of what we see is not all there is. It's real for us as we're here, but this is only one of many possibilities for us. Many people in the near-death experience will come back and share crossing over, going through the light, going into the heaven realms, and meeting their family, their loved ones, those who have been deceased before, meeting them and sharing with them, and the remembrance and the love, and recognizing that that is the truth, that this heaven consciousness, this spiritual consciousness is our true nature, and down here we're dreaming, forgetting who we are, and in the forgetting we face lessons that are so serious and so dramatic, but because they're only that way because we forget who we are. As soon as we remember who we are, then those not good enoughs, or this hurts me so bad, or these dramas, they don't hold the same sting because we know that it's just an entertainment for our souls.
And let's talk about love. I mean, I haven't actually covered that subject, I think, in Wisdom from North, and it's something that we all meet, and nobody has an answer to love between man and woman. Like, so what do you do if you're really heartbroken and you're so attached to, this person? How can you deal with that in a spiritual sense, without going into the ego and the fear, and I need this person to survive?
Well, we have unconscious memories of loss. If you believe in past life, there has been tragedy and loss of loved ones. So we come in with a memory of losing, of being separated from heaven, of feeling like we're not loved or good enough, or something's missing. And so when we find that person that we have that gateway of love with, we want to possess it and hold on to it. And it's like any good drug that people get addicted to. When you have that love, you're so high and so blissful, but when you take it away, out comes all the shadow, all the drama, all the negativity, all the conditions, all the anger, the unfulfilled needs come up. The anger at God for, how can you take this away from me? How can you bring me into this? And so that's the illusion of the ego. And so it all starts with the power of surrender. Surrendering to the Great Spirit, surrendering to that love, that is the truth, surrendering our attachments, and knowing that in order to empty ourselves, can we be filled? In order to let go, can we regain? And so it's a leap of faith. And it's very important to have something that you believe in, something that has meaning to you. Like for me, I have sacred mountains here. The water is sacred. There is beauty all around. So always I know that I am connected to this. But for an average person, and they lose this love, it's like life has no meaning. I can't go on. I'm going suicidal. I'm going to go down. And the world is full of depression and suicide because there's no light at the end of the tunnel. They're only seeing darkness and going nowhere. And so we are here to put light at the end of the tunnel, to bring inspiration, to remind each other that this is not all there is, that love you share is a gift, and we can't possess that person or possess that love, because that love is like the flowing stream. It just flows, and we can swim and drink of it. We can't possess it.
And it's kind of the mind that's saying or projecting love only on one person, which I find fascinating, because love is so many things. But we tend to think about like only love between man and woman. That's like the highest love. Or
well, some people have the love of their pet. Their dog or their cat is their soulmate, or their children, or they love their job, or they love working on the Earth Mother, their garden. So love is many ways. Playing music, poetry, speaking, creativity is love. But when you love the opposite sex or your mate, whatever that may be, when that person is open to love, that gate opens for the divine archetype of love to come through. You might say the twin soul or the twin flame can come through the eyes of the one that you love. The one that you love may not be that ultimate twin flame, but because that person is loving and open to loving you, they are a conduit for love to come through them. Now, it may come to where you grow apart and no longer can find that love together. You don't see that in each other's eyes anymore. You don't have that type of spark of love. Is because they were a conduit for a short while for you to touch the divine.
and that's okay, to leave then.
Yes, well, you have to grow. And when you're growing, you're following your heart, what you love. And there you find someone who's growing in the same way, opening their heart to the same truth, open to the same conduit of love. And if you decide to grow different directions, but you still love each other so much that you cultivate love no matter, keep the doorway open so it's flowing through your vessels, through your consciousness, through your awareness, that you always see love, because there's going to come a time when that creativity and inspiration stops, and then you're empty and you have to see each other in your emptiness because the bliss is not flowing, and then still recognize in your emptiness what you are to each other. And by recognizing each other, then you can allow yourself to open the conduit and intending this moment to be that for each other. It's a choice, It happens naturally at first, spontaneous, but later we choose where we want to go with it. Whether we want to sacrifice to make it happen, whether we want to go the easy way or the hard way. We have agreements before we're born of certain people we're going to meet.
Oh, we do?
Certain key people will come into our lives and as like soulmates, many kindred spirits that we share with and have loving and joyful sharing, but there are certain people who are key. Maybe there's that one that is the key. Not everybody necessarily gets that, but you can always have a kindred spirit that you can grow with.
What's a kindred spirit? Is that kind of like a twin soul, or?
You have like a twin flame that is somebody who completes that other part of this evolution that your soul is coming here to experience. But soulmates are quite often linked towards children and family and past life family that you've traveled with, brothers, sisters, husband, wives, parents. Sometimes you like each other, sometimes you hate each other, but you come to work it out because on the other side, everybody sees it for what it is. Everybody loves each other. But it's down here we forget and we take these roles on to push each other's buttons. And some of us have chosen to come together to bring us to our enlightenment together, to find enlightenment together, be more like a twin flame. A kindred spirit is, say you have a community of like-minded people that are all into positive thinking, eating good, living in harmony. A kindred spirits, and there you're not lonely because there's so many people to share with and there's somebody to love if you needed to love somebody. But now who you want to spend your life with, the rest of your life with, that may be very few.
Now, if you say that in some way that we've planned or we have a plan for our lives, can we still change it? Can we still ask for, okay, my plan wasn't to meet anybody, I was supposed to be alone or whatever, whatever the plan was. Or can we then, but I changed my mind, I would like a mate anyway, or, just can we change the plan, basically?
Yes, because we make agreements and we create it as we go along.
Oh.
And we may be destined to meet somebody, but we have a choice of where we're going to go with it. Some people on their spiritual path are going a path of celibacy and living as a complete being within themselves, and are happy that way. Others don't want that. They want to share the journey with someone. And everybody has a choice of what feels, comfortable for them, because we have many lifetimes of how we've searched for our truth, how we've experienced our realities, and how we bring it to completion now. At this time, with the cycle of the calendar coming to an ending and a new cycle getting ready to begin, more and more people are coming together who have deeper soul ties that are finishing this round, finishing or giving to each other pieces of each other that, thank you for that. I may not be able to be with you, but you've given me this piece that I'll always treasure this. And you've given me a part of my soul that now I have faith that this love is not an illusion, that after this lifetime it's going to be love in higher dimensions, but that love can be here now because I just have to open my heart to it and be it, and then I can share.
I mean, if you look at it that way, I feel like you can be grateful for anything,
Everything.
Yeah, everything.
Because as you're grateful, you create magic, because your frequency begins to resonate, that your needs are being met, that you are in perfect flow, that you're loving and inspired, and it vibrates your reality for what you attract to make manifest.
So can you talk a little bit about where we're going in this golden era or golden age?
On my Facebook page, I posted that song by the Fifth Dimension, Aquarius. This is the dawning of the age of Aquarius, where everybody is living, accepting each other, living in creativity and love. And that as your mind creates it, you can make it manifest. That we have unlimited potential to begin to live in harmony and share in a dream of beauty. And already there are people who are living their dreams, creating beauty, and gathering in an awareness that represents this new time. Already many people have an awakening. It's just that many people are not. Many people are in the world of duality and have no hope. So it's so important for inspired people to go and share a little light, share a little love, and contribute to social issues that can help uplift people. As we uplift each other, we fulfill our service to help others to also find the light. And as we do that, as we embrace that in our work, in our play, in what we do, no matter what we're doing, we can do something to lift somebody's day up. And maybe just a few people or maybe many people. But as long as we begin to put this fire of love, inspiration, and people say, yeah, we can do it. We're all human beings. We're all facing certain challenges. And yet we still can be happy and joyful and blissful. And that's contagious.
Beautiful.
And when people have died and cross over and come back, when they get into the heaven realm, everybody's dancing and partying. And they're playing music. And it's a party. Everybody is just so happy. And so you get on your spiritual path, you think, okay, now we're meditating and serious and no indulging in drinking and social activities are superficial. And people go back and be with their families and go like, oh, we don't understand you. You're alienated from us because you're on a different frequency. It's like, hey, just drop all that and we're here. We have food. We're celebrating the holiday. Everybody's got music that they like and everybody's dancing and laughing. And that's heaven. That is heaven. It's that bringing that love and sharing it with our relations and not separating ourselves from others because we feel different and misunderstood because we get onto a spiritual frequency and nobody else understands it because they're in the old school thinking. In the new school thinking, the way you integrate that, just come back with love and accept everybody and not try to change anybody, not try to convince anybody, not just be the example of being happy and let that love flow. And that's all we have to do. And then we have to find practical solutions to help this world to get away from polluting it and raping the Mother Earth and fossil fuels and genetically modified food and pesticides and everything that's poisoning our air, water, and soil. We have to begin to say we don't want to put our money into that. We want to put our money into things that sustain the earth, organic, things that are natural, treat the animals right. The problem is with so many people, everything becomes a number and becomes dehumanized, depersonalized. The animals are treated as objects instead of living beings with souls. And we have this disconnected world where we need to be engaged with the world and seeing what's going on, that we can give some love to the plants that are being harvested, give some love to those animals that are being raised for food, give some love and recognize everything wants to be loved. Nobody wants to die. Nobody wants to be treated bad. The animals don't want to be eaten. The plants don't want to be eaten. Vegetarians will say, oh, the plants like to be eaten. So well, if that's the case, why do they have needles on them and poisons, and they don't want to be eaten either?
What should we eat then?
It's not that we can't eat them. It's that we have to thank the spirit that oversees them. And when you thank the spirit, then it's all understood. It's when you take without asking. It's like somebody coming into your home and taking your stuff, taking your food and not asking, taking of your love and not giving back.
The big circle of life.
Yeah, you got to give back. And when we're always taking, then we're out of balance with nature. And when that happens, nature says, oops, fires, droughts, floods, storms, tidal waves, earthquakes. Because we're not in balance with the spirit of life. And we're not in balance with each other as human beings, because somebody's taking too much and somebody's giving too much. Until we can find equal balance, give and take. And then that's how love works between a man and a woman, or between a family, when there can be understanding, listening and speaking, silence, touching, space for each individual to grow.
That was beautiful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It's been my pleasure.
Where can people reach you? What kind of website?
I'm in Sedona. I have a Facebook page, Rahelio Roderiguez, and I have a website, www.rahelio.com. Rahelio. I have a very unique spelling, Ra for the sun god, Helio for the sun radiance. That's my metaphysical mutation of my birth names. And I'm in Sedona. They can call me or message me. And I facilitate groups, individual healing. Looks like I'll be doing some seminars more in the future. But I'm also doing nature tours and shamanic journeys, drum, rattles, flute, singing, sweat lodges, water ceremonies, giving the ashes of deceased relatives and honoring ceremonies. I am coming from a place of bridging the new and the old. Understanding the wisdom of the old culture and the old way and the time that is the new, and seeking to bring a balance and a bridge. Not one way and not the other way, but bringing it together in a good way.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. It was amazing meeting you. We've had such a beautiful time here. It's really special, I gotta say, to be here with you. So thank you.
Thank you. I have very much enjoyed our time together.
And thank you so much for watching, guys, and much, much light from Sedona. Bye.